everyone. I'm Kim Jacobs, host of The Kim Jacobs Show, where we're bringing balance to the world one household at a time. Listen, we go live every weekday, Monday through Friday at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I bring guests on that talk about their backstories, things that they've had to overcome to become who they are today. Many of them are balancing and juggling life, and they've become experts in different fields. So they're sharing tips with you to make your life just a little bit easier. Many times as a guest in the studio audience, you'll get a chance to walk away with a missing piece of the puzzle that might be missing in your life. Let's go on this journey together, and I look forward to seeing you Monday through Friday at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on The Kim Jacobs Show.
You're watching Kim Jacobs Show.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to The Kim Jacobs Show. Hope you all are ready for a great episode. We're going to have a great time today because guess what today is? It's what, everybody? Unmute yourselves. What's today?
Freestyle Friday.
Freestyle Friday. Oh my goodness.
Like Kim, you should have told us that backstage. We could have been a little more
Right.
coordinated, right? Today is Freestyle Friday. So we talk about all kinds of topics on today's episode. We really want you all to be actively engaged. So as you're grabbing your seats, go ahead and share the broadcast. Let people know that today we're talking about a wide variety of things. We're going to just do a quick snippet of what you can expect from each of our experts today. So Dr. Jody Bear, if you could unmute yourself and go ahead and tell people what they can expect to hear when you're speaking today.
I think I'm unmuted, Kim. Am I not?
Oh, you are. Go ahead. So what are you talking about?
Oh, yeah, I never mute myself, Kim.
Okay.
I just don't. So I'm Dr. Jody Bear, America's top foundational health coach, and we are talking about my initiative for the victims and the people that have left in the rubble of destruction with Hurricane Ivan and how you can get involved and you can participate.
I'm grateful that you're here today, Dr. Jody Bear, our America's top health coach and foundational health coach here on the Kim Jacobs Show. Athena Robertson, let everybody know our sunshine expert, what you're going to be talking about today.
Learning to say no and have peace with it.
Learning to say no. What are your thoughts on that? Go ahead and get your minds right, because these are comments and thoughts that you all will be able to pop over here in the comment section. And I'm also going to put this link here for you as well, in case you want to pop on screen directly. So here you are. And you'll be good afternoon to you too. We see you coming in the studio. Well, it's good morning on this end, but afternoon, night, depending upon where you're tuning in from. Vicki L. Evans, talk to us and tell us what you're going to be sharing today.
Good morning, good afternoon, whatever it is to you all, studio audience. I will be talking to you today about why a daughter needs a dad.
Wow. Why does a daughter need her daddy? You guys, you can probably say so much about that. Plus, we posted it on social media, so we'll go back and see if any people put comments there. And we'll share all of your comments as much as possible. Great topic, Vicki L. Evans. Can't wait to hear it. And how about you, Carrie Ann Hilliard? Carrie Ann Hilliard. Let me go back. Vicki L. Evans is our expert of many hats. So the reason that you see her wearing a hat many times is because she talks about a wide variety of topics. So she's today talking about why a dad needs a daughter, but she also deals with domestic violence. And she also talks a lot about playwriting, because she is a gifted playwright as well and director. All right. So Carrie Ann Hilliard, who is really our overcoming single parent obstacles expert, as well as she is helping adolescents speak out expert here on the Kim Jacobs Show. But today, Carrie Ann, what do you have for us?
So today I will be talking about delight yourself in the Lord. That's what I'm going to talk about.
Oh yeah, drop the mic. Okay, so we're going to be delighting ourselves in the Lord. And what does delight, the word delight, mean to you? So get your minds right. We have a great episode lined up for you right here on Freestyle Friday. Maybe we should probably start off, Athena, by talking about no right from the jump. Just okay. Sometimes you just gotta say no. So we're gonna go over here to Athena, our sunshine expert, and I'm going to pull you up here. And do me a favor, when we come back, drop some knowledge on how we can say no and still have some peace about it. Look at you, sunshine. Yes, come through. Okay. All right, everybody. I see your comments. Before I go here, let me pop you up and share some of these quick comments that's coming in. Good afternoon to you, wherever you're visiting in from, our Facebook visitor. Let's see. I see you, Gary. You said good morning to Kim and to the guest as well. You said, hey, Carrie Ann and friends, your mom, that's your mom, Justine Hilliard, watching. All right. And Dennis Spraggins, if you missed the episode where he was on, he is a gentleman that is currently homeless. He faithfully is in the virtual studio audience of the Kim Jacobs Show.
Yes, he is.
And some of you gave some funds yesterday, and he will have all of those funds in his possession. He had to get me away for me to get them to him. But I am so glad that he was able to be here on the Kim Jacobs Show. And we're praying that his situation and circumstances completely turn around. And thanks to some of your help, it's just going to make it a little teeny bit easier for him. All right. All right, Dennis Spraggins, I'm glad you're in the studio audience. I enjoy talking to you as my guest. All right. We will be right back, everyone. And we're going to get to hear from Athena Robertson, our sunshine expert.
I'm attorney Charles Everidge. I started out representing insurance companies until my father was seriously injured at work. 4 of his fingers were amputated. Our family went through a lot, so I know what you're going through as an injured worker. If you've been hurt on the job, call me now. I'll fight to get the workers' comp benefits you may deserve. I'll fight for you like family. Put my experience to work for you. Call 704-457-5000, the first call for injured workers.
All right, and we are back talking right now with our sunshine expert, Athena Robertson. Athena, you say how to say no and they'll have peace about it. Talk to us.
Oh, good morning. Good morning. First, good morning to all the queens on the panel. Good morning out there, Facebook and YouTube who's watching. It's always a blessing to be here. First, giving God honor. And then always thank you to my beautiful sister, Kim, for allowing me just to come on the show and just spread a lot of sunshine and hopefully impacting somebody's life along the way. So, yes, there is peace in saying no. It's okay to say no and have peace in it. I'm a busy person. Miss Vicky's busy with the many hats. My sister Carrie Ann stays busy. Dr. Jody Bear, she stay busy. Why even camping? She's still busy. And Kim is always busy. And us as busy women, and I'm going to talk to everybody that's busy, we often have a lot on our plates. We have a lot on our plates, whether we prioritize them or whether as the day unfolds, our plate gets busy. It happens, it's life. But how many of you know sometimes you got to stop and just say no? And you can say no with a smile. You can say no with a gentle no, not at this time. And guess what? Sometimes when you say no, I take it back. Majority of the time when you say no, you don't need no explanation. It don't have to be a but or I thought. It could just be, no, I can't do it at this time. And you be okay with it. Your reaction will determine how the person on the receiving end that has asked you to do something, that will counteract off of your action. If your action come off and it's not at a good place, you probably might get a little bit of attitude or a little bit scuffle behind it. But that's never the case here. I'm not talking about the negativity of that. What I'm talking about is just be gentle in saying no and being okay with it. It's a lot of things. I take for example, for me, my day starts out with my children. After prayer meditation, we'll get my children off to school and then getting to work. And sometimes when I arrive at work, I have different colleagues that are pulling at me to get some things done. And this is sometimes before I even get into my office to say, whew, okay, I made it to work safe. Lord, let's open up this day. And it's going to be a great day. No matter who I encounter, it's going to be an awesome day. But I start having people knocking at the door, the phone ringing, wants to turn my computer on, my emails are popping. And sometimes I have to say, I can't do that at the moment. I'm not available at the moment. and be okay with that and be at peace with that. And here's what I learned. You guys know I take notes. So bouncing off my notes is what I learned is that saying no keeps you at a healthy place. It keeps you at a healthy place for you to find balance and how your day is going to flow. And sometimes it helps if you do like a little reminder checklist. Um, and sometimes you could prioritize that the night before or right in the morning of getting your day started. Again, I set out the prayer and meditation of getting your day started because sometimes we can jump ahead of the day because things will start popping in our heads that, we got to do this. It could be you got to pay bills. It could be you got to run here, or you was meant to do it yesterday, but today you trying to get it all in.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, just take time to breathe. Make a list. Make a list. Take time to look at what's on your list and the timing of what each thing is going to do. Maybe it's only going to take you to run an errand. It might only take you an hour. But with dealing with your children, it might take you about 1 to 2 hours. So make sure you're giving yourself the proper time. And again, if you have a lot of things that are going to need to be done, prioritize them and see if you can just stretch it a little bit. That way, if this unexpected question come up, a friend might call and be like, hey, I thought I could make it over here to the store, but can you grab that on the way? Because we only stay like 5 or 10 minutes apart.
Right.
If that's the case and you can do it, glory to God. If you can do it, do it. I'm not saying that you're not going to be able to help a friend out. That's not what I'm saying. Don't get it
Don't get
mistaken.
it twisted.
But what I do say is when your plate is overflowing and you still got things that are overflowing on top of it, and before you know it, you gave out all your yes, and then you be tired and worn out. And now, but you have an obligation now because you said yes. So it's like you keep your word or do you try to back out gently? But if you just take time to pay attention and to look at what you have beforehand, then you won't have to make that mistake.
That's good.
So that is what the Sunshine Expert is saying to you today. It's okay to say no and have peace with it and be okay with that. Thank you.
Very, very awesome. Okay, so open up the panel discussion and see any thoughts on what you all may have pertaining to some of what our Sunshine Expert said. How do you say no to people? Anybody that have some input, share how you say no to people sometimes.
Athena, that was amazing. And I just loved what you said because you have a way with words, Athena. You're talking about, you just give out of yeses. My mama, since we're talking about families, all right, today, and dad and daughter, my mama always said, when I say no, it gives the opportunity for somebody else to say yes.
Oh, that's good. Okay. So is this a positive thing sometimes? Because you're giving other people the opportunity to use their gifts versus just assuming that you have to say yes to everything. I love that. All right. Anybody else have any thoughts?
Well, I have no problem saying no. I used to, but I have no problem saying no. But one thing that I have learned too, and this right here, I had a problem with. Like once I make a commitment and then something comes and I need to take care of that and I have to say no now, I had a hard time doing that. But I understand now that it's okay to change your mind too. Life is not just etched in stone.
That's true.
It's okay to change your mind and with purpose and explanation. If it's a good reason, be able to change your mind.
Excellent. I agree with you on that too. And it is what it is. You don't have to give an explanation about everything. But go ahead. Anybody else too? This is awesome.
I was just going to say that's a great point, Miss Vicki, and that is so true. And I tell you, my sister Carrie Ann taught me that it's okay to change your mind with purpose and explanation. She should have known I was going to speak on her. She should have known it was coming.
That's good. Good.
We have many projects together, and it's one particular project we were working on, and she could not do it because she already had some commitments and some major projects already going on, but the way she did it was a gentle love. It didn't abrupt me. It didn't, feel like, oh man, she's leaving me hanging, like shucks. But she got right to the point. It was like right to the point, but it was done in gentle love. I was able to receive it. And that's how now when I'm asked to do something, and if something important comes up, because life happens, like Miss Vicky said, you just say no with a generous explanation and keep it moving.
That's right. That's good. Well, I also, Carrie Ann, go, your turn.
Thank you, Athena, for giving us that reminder that we need to remember to say no in this season, because we're in a season where all kinds of great things are happening and they're forming. And a lot of people who haven't planned out their year is coming forward and saying, hey, I need you to do this. Hey, I need you to do that. Hey, I need y'all to come be on some of the things I'm having
Right.
too. But thank you for just reminding us that we need
Yeah.
to continue to say no.
That's good.
That's it. Yeah. Thank
That's
you.
good. I wrote a book, literally, when people say, you wrote a book on it, it's like I wrote a book literally. And one of the books that I wrote is how to actually have an extreme balance makeover. And in the book, let me find that picture here. I keep that somewhere for everybody. But in the book, I actually talk about, in one of the chapters, it's called Extreme Balance Makeover over there. And it says better solutions, better focus, and better life. And on page 139 in the book, I specifically, all of these tips in here are tips that I used to share on NBC when I was the balance expert weekly on their program. So what I did was I compiled all of the tips when I would go live on ways to balance different aspects of our lives. And one of the things on page 139 is saying that we have an unbelievable number of things that we're required to do. So when someone else tries to put one more thing on our plate that can throw off our daily balance. And my episodes were called Daily Balance with Kim Jacobs. So getting over the need to please everyone was one of the big ones. And no reason or no apology is necessary. Always offering another option. For me, that works well because I don't like to say no. So being able to offer another option works better for me. To say, no, I'm not able to do it on this particular day, but I can do it on this day and time if that works for you. Or I'm not able to do it, but can I please have someone else that I refer in my place? And those kinds of things work well. And I have quite a few others in here. Is it even important to me? Is it something that I value and really want to make it work? Or is it something I'm like, no, you know what? I have a lot of must-dos and I already have to carry some things over to the next day anyway. And this is me just talking as the balance doctor. So how am I going to add more to my plate if I'm already putting over some priorities that must still get done today? So you just kind of prioritize and don't fudge the truth. That's one of my tips in here. There's no need to lie to people. Come on. Don't lie and say, oh, you know what? I have an event when you don't have an event. There's no why be forced to lie? I'm just not interested in doing that particular thing. So these tips are some tips that I have here in the Extreme Balance Makeover book that I did write. That was a great segment, Athena. Let's see some of the studio audience comments. Did anybody? Let's see. Dr. Lotus Roche said, oh, you representing at the Biggest Boss Conference? Dr. Lotus Roche is at the Biggest Boss Conference in Houston, Texas. And while doing her show in North Carolina, you rock, Kim. The Kim Jacobs show, we actually paid for one of the teenagers, and I don't know who the teen is. You don't have to know who the people are. But we supported a teenager to go to a Biggest Boss Conference that's in Houston, Texas, so that they can learn entrepreneurial skills. And so thank you, Dr. Lotus Roche, for being there and representing. Really appreciate you being here today, too.
My home state.
Huh?
Kim, you reminded me of something that I had a great friend that said, when you have a full plate, why in the world would you make it a turkey platter?
That's a good one. That's a good comment. Good comment. I'm 63 and never say no. This conversation is freeing me up. Thanks, ladies. Way to go, Lady Justine. She's gonna have to say no. It's okay. All right. Amazing, someone said. Let's see. Awesome. And I see all of your comments. There's some great comments. Let me go and check too on Facebook. And I didn't want to leave anybody off, but there's so many comments. What I'll do during the commercial break, if there are any additional comments, I will go ahead and share some of those when we come back. Athena, how can people stay connected with you?
Sure. They can stay connected with me on Facebook at Athena Robertson. They can stay connected with me on LinkedIn as Athena Robertson. They can also stay connected with me on IG at Red Honey. That's REDHONNI. R REDH
You might as well put sunshine, girl. Everybody
I
knows
7. They can reach me there, and also I serve in Mecklenburg County as a notary public, with Express Notary Public, and they can hit me up at 980-200-5740.
Awesome, awesome. So y'all make sure you stay connected with Athena Robertson, our sunshine expert. And what we're going to do is take a commercial break, and we're going to come back and let's delight ourselves in the Lord some. How about
Yes.
let's do that? Let's delight ourselves because it's so much going. You know what? No. I'm going to swap. I'm going to switch it. I'm going to go back. We're going to we need to delight ourselves so we can hear some of the devastation and stuff, but we got to have our minds right to hear about the devastation. I'm trying to prioritize how we're going to do this here. All right, Carrie Ann, our expert, will be talking to us about how to delight ourselves in the Lord when we come back right after this commercial break. Thank you, Athena Robertson. That was awesome.
You're welcome.
I love that. All right, we'll be right back, everyone.
It's not just another day, it's a brand new day, full of all the fun, love, and laughter you and your family create. Silver Shield Security understands feeling at home means feeling safe and happy. No credit checks, no contracts. We offer payment arrangements, and we'll even give you a free door camera. Find out how we can brighten your day even more at silvershield-security.com. Silver Shield Security.
And we're back, and we're going to hear from Carrie Ann Hilliard. Let's delight ourselves in the Lord, Carrie Ann.
Awesome. First of all, I want to say thank you for having me on the show. I love being an expert on the Kim Jacobs Show. It's been about a year now that I've been on the show, so thank you so much for having me.
It's my honor to have you. I didn't know it's been that long, so this is a good thing, some celebratory moments. Okay.
Yes, it has been. So when you send out the invite, I was contemplating what I was going to do, and going back to Athena with this, just say no. Well, just say no. It's okay to say no. And I was thinking, okay, what am I supposed to do this time? So God was like, it's okay, do it. I was like, okay, all right. So what am I going to talk about? So all week I was praying like, what am I supposed to talk about? So I didn't get anything until this morning. Kim, you had texted me. It's like, do you have a topic? That's how I knew you were going to ask, because like all week I've been praying about it and I didn't get anything. So God was like, go to your purple notebook. So I have this little small purple notebook right here, and I was reading it. So I started doing reflecting, because I call Fridays Reflection Fridays with my business, Help Adolescents Speak Out. Our meeting is to reflect and see how the week went. So I was just looking through it and reading over how my week went. And the word delight came up about 2 or 3 times. I read it in scripture. And I was like, okay, God, that's what we're talking about. He was like, all right, let's go walking. So I went walking, did my little 2 laps and came back. And he was like, there you go. So the word delight means pleasing, and it's pleasing greatly, to please greatly or great pleasure. And when you think about what that really means, we just spoke about how pleasing people is not a good thing to do, because we're supposed to please God. It's all about Him. We have to please Him. And sometimes we may not want to do so, but that's what God requires from us. That's what He wants from us. He wants us to please Him. And I got my notes here. I wrote it down there, and then it's written down here too. I'm always
right.
Go ahead. That's what He told me to do. He was like, go write and then go read. So when I was looking for the information, the word delight in the Bible, I found it in Psalms 37. I knew that's where it was, but I wanted to do something a little bit differently. For somehow I ended up looking at my book, Overcoming Single Parent Obstacles. And at the back of my book, I put scriptures in it. And the one scripture that stuck out to me was Psalms 126. And I'm going to read a little bit of it. For verse 1, it says, when the Lord brought back the captives to Zion, we were like men who dream. And I thought about that. Captives, that word, like slavery. That's how we are kind of living now, because of life, because of our experiences, because of work, different things that happens within our lives. But if you keep reading, it also talks about our mouths were filled with laughter. Our tongues were songs of joy. Then it was said among the nations, the Lord has done great things for them. So I thought about that and I was like, And then it takes it back to verse 6. And that's what's on the back of my book. It says, he who goes out weeping, carrying seed to sow, will return with songs of joy. And that's what it's like to delight in the Lord. It's one day or one moment you may find yourself just crying about life, crying over things that happen, crying over experiences. But if you just learn how to delight yourself in the Lord, you will return with songs of joy. And that's what it's all about. And I can tell you that how to delight yourself in 5 simple ways. First of all, you have to accept Jesus. You cannot delight yourself in God if you don't even know who he is. That's step 1. Delight yourself in him. And then you develop your relationship. You got to develop that personal relationship. And you do that with step 3, which is to seek him through his word, the word of God. And then step 4, which is follow his instructions. Whatever God told you to do, that's what you do. Now, step 5, you find yourself delighting in the Lord. So thank you for letting me share how to delight yourself in God.
Well, I do need you to share them one more time because I'm typing them. So I need you to share them so I can type them a little bit faster.
So step 1 was accept Jesus as your Lord and Savior. Just accept him. And then step 2 is develop your personal relationship with God. You got to develop that relationship. And then step 3 is to seek him daily. You do that by reading his word, the Bible. And then, am I still going too fast?
One more time, because I don't have my backstage help with me today. The person Mackenzie not back there today, so I'm typing it in, but I'm doing a great job. Don't get me wrong.
You got it. Number 4 is follow his instructions.
Okay. Follow his instructions. Okay.
And his is God, the Lord.
Of course. All right. And the final one?
Delight yourself. Now you done accept him. You develop your personal relationship. You're seeking him. Now you should just be walking and y'all cruising together.
Accept him and cruise with him.
Yeah, and it was so funny because I find myself doing that every day, not even realizing this is what I do. Like I'll say a prayer and I'll leave it open. A lot of times I won't even say amen because I just want him to continue to walk with me and I walk with him throughout the day. So if I hear go this way or go that way, I can go this way and that way. Or if I hear tell this person no or tell that person yes, I'll be able to do so because I'm keeping that vertical connection open. And that's how you delight yourself with God.
Wow. Okay. Wow. I just think that was absolutely incredible. I'm glad I'm asking you guys what your topics are so we can get this level of robust conversation going. All right. How do you all in the studio audience delight yourselves in the Lord? Please put your comments and we'll pop them up. And Carrie Ann, let people know how they can stay connected with you.
Awesome. So you can go to my my website, which is carrieannhilliard.com. You can email me. My email is carrieannhilliard@gmail. My phone number is 980-216-6844. Those are how you can stay in contact with me. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn, all at Carrie Ann Hilliard.
Excellent. All right. I have, oh my goodness, unmute yourselves or just even if you're, just go ahead and say something to what Carrie Ann said. How do you all delight yourselves in the Lord? Anybody want to share how you delight yourself in the Lord?
I loved what you were saying, Carrie Ann, about you have to read the word, before you can follow instructions. It's like you get in car and drive, but if you don't have a GPS, it was just so systematic. It spoke to my heart, Carrie Ann. It's simple and easy to do, but easy not to do. And because we want the end regard of this. And think about when you delight because you're reading his word, then it will be joy unspeakable. And that's just a little addendum, but great words, great simplicity, and great instructions. Thank you for really bringing that to us.
Absolutely. I'm just thoroughly impressed with this conversation. Anybody else want to say how you delight yourself in the Lord?
I just want to tell y'all, like, all this was God-given. I didn't do it. He did it.
Well, that's what he does. He delights himself back in you when you delight yourself in him. That's what I believe anyway.
Right.
So that's good. Good. All right. So I will tell you all too that I just believe that anytime you have a personal relationship with someone, you find delight in them, and you get a chance to say, you know, am I doing what's pleasing to you? Am I satisfying you? Am I having the relationship be what you expected for it to be? And I believe that that's how it also works with my Lord. I'm only talking from my personal perspective. This is actually going to be more in another book that I'm writing, because I've learned some great differences in what I taught in this book and the manuscript that I have completed now at 52 years old. There are some drastic changes because we grow and we develop and we become different people, not different people, but more improved versions of who God created us to be. And so I love the opportunity to check in with God and see what is it that I'm doing right? What are some things that I'm just totally failing you at so that I can get better in those areas and get on track with those things. And so for me, delighting myself is finding out what is his expectations of me, and how can I continue to be in alignment with what he expects from my life on this journey called life. All right. Did anybody in the studio audience have comments? Let's see what some comments are. That's some good stuff. Your mom said, Justine Hillier said, that's some good stuff. And she said that I delight myself by sitting by the ocean and admiring his beautiful creations.
I guess we're going to the beach soon.
Yeah, y'all be out there on the water, on the boats with your, family boat and stuff.
Yeah.
Y'all got some good stuff. I love it. And so just being able to delight ourselves by looking at the beauty and the creations of God. And if we just go out of our homes, apartments, wherever, and just look up, that alone, the creation of the sky and the trees and you name it, it's just so much to be mesmerized by. I am so happy about this conversation. And sometimes we don't know, how do I word this? We take for granted, but we don't even know that we're taking it for granted, that we should be more grateful for what God did to create all of this. Don't you think?
Right.
So anyway, any other comments, thoughts? All right. So we're going to do what? We're going to take another commercial break. Let me do this and share with you all that we have some episode sponsors that do take time every day to pour into the Kim Jacobs Show. And we are honored to have them as our sponsors. I do want you all to subscribe to the Kim Jacobs Show on our YouTube channel. If you haven't already done so, take a moment to do that today. And that's right on YouTube. Turn your notifications on. And when we go live, you will automatically receive an alert and see whatever episode we have. Also on Facebook, if you can follow us there as well. Today's episode I shared with you is sponsored by Silver Shield Security. I have Silver Shield Security, and they're state-of-the-art security company, night vision, lights, you name it. They got every kind of gadget there is. silvershield-security.com. And Tone X, international comedian, is the face of Silver Shield Security now. And you can get a discount, whether you have an apartment or a house, townhome, whatever, no contract needed, by just putting in hashtag Tone X. All right. So we're going to come right back and let's see who we're going to go to next. Let's talk about our daddies. So let's talk about daddies and daughters with our own Vicki L. Evans. And Vicki, while we're in the commercial break, I just have VickiLEvans.com. Is there anything else? Put it in the private chat. And I am excited. We're going to be right back after this commercial break.
Nothing says I love you more than final expense insurance whole life protection. With funeral advocacy nationwide, saving you and your family 30 to 80% off funerals and cremations. Nothing says I love you more than Get Insured Solutions, LLC. GetInsured.Solutions, 704-499-3616.
All right, we're going to do one more quick commercial because I just told Vicki something to do backstage. I just want you all to know how you can stay connected with us here on the Kim Jacobs Show. Here you go. All right, everyone, and we are back, and we're getting ready to hear from, first of all, hasn't this been amazing? I thought this has been incredible, right? I've enjoyed y'all topics so much, and so we are going to get to, let me go right quick to just make sure. I think some of you sent some photos in, which I'm excited about, regarding your dads and your children and their dads. So we'll pop a few of those up as well, and let me see if anybody else sent a photo in. Okay, so I am going to go and pull up Vicki L. Evans. So Vicki L. Evans is here with us today, our woman of many hats. And so I have a lot of different tags and hashtags for her, but I want to make sure we capture one today. All right, what does your shirt say over there? Woman, thou art loose.
Woman, thou art loose.
Homecoming. All right. I heard that was a powerful, powerful time.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about it a little bit.
Oh, okay. So Vicki L. Evans, talk to us today.
Hello, everyone. So glad to be here back with you again. I've been doing some traveling, catching a couple of events here and there, New Orleans, Texas. I went to see my Dallas Cowboys. Everybody know I'm a big Dallas Cowboy fan. And this event I want to talk about, I also attended back in September. And just before I start telling you about this event, my topic today is why a daughter needs a dad. And I'm going to give you some reasons why a daughter needs a dad. So back in September, I went to Atlanta to attend the Woman Thou Art Loose conference. Now, I have a little story to kind of preface this before I get into the topic. So I went there on a Thursday, and I went to the first conference there, and I decided to walk with some ladies, and I had the wrong shoes on. And so we went up all Andrew Young, internet, all up and down these hills. And so long story short, my legs, my everything began to hurt. But but every day I decided, okay, Thursday, Friday I walked. And then by Saturday, everything hurt, including my back. So I decided on Saturday morning that I was not going to the last conference. I had seen Priscilla Schreier. I had seen Sarah Jakes. So I said, well, you know what? I am not going to the last session. And the reason why this is important, I want you to understand that a daughter not only needs her natural father, but she needs her spiritual father. So anyway, that Saturday morning, I woke up and I said, I am not going. I've seen all I want to see. And my Heavenly Father, the Holy Spirit, spoke to me and said, we don't quit, we finish.
Wow.
We don't quit, we finish. And so I said, okay, I got myself up, and guess what I did? I called myself a Uber, and I went over there to the Georgia Conference Center. And so why is this important? So when I get there, let me tell you what I would have missed. During that session, Bishop T.D. Jakes passed the torch to his daughter, Sarah Jakes Roberts. And as Kim said, it was so powerful. It was powerful in so many ways, on so many levels, because not only did he pass the torch to her, he began to tell her just how proud he was of her. He said he was so proud of her, and he said he would have been proud of her anyway, whatever she did. If she decided to be a taxi driver, whatever, he just wanted her to know how proud he was of her. And so it just brought tears to my eyes. Now, I know I talked to you guys a lot about my mom who transitioned back in May, but today I want to tell you about my dad. Because at that moment, Bishop Jake says something else. He says, I'm not only validating my daughter, but if there's any daughters in here at all who has never heard I love you and I'm proud of you from your father, I am validating you today as well. It was that powerful. And though my dad passed away in 2009, and Kim, could you put a picture up of my dad right now? Even though my dad passed away in 2009, that moment meant so much to me, because I just began to look back at everything that me and my dad had experienced. My dad used to carry me on his shoulder. I can remember back when I was at least 3 years old. My dad used to carry me on his shoulder and take me around because he was so proud of me. And so I wanted to say that to you. So, you know, even though, and my dad, he was a very complex person in some ways, because there's some other avenues of him. If you could show the other one with
I
him.
have to get it. That's fine. It's a delay happening. That's the only reason I don't have
Okay.
it. But this one is the one I have right now. But I'll put the other one
So
up.
that's me and my dad when I was young, so I guess that is perfect, because I'm telling you, he used to carry me around. In fact, he used to carry me around on his shoulder until I became a parrot and began to talk too much. So that kind of ended. But I
You
started
have
telling
one of
everything.
him
So
by
that,
himself too. I'm popping up. Give me one second. That's
so
amazing.
that,
So you used to talk. You used to talk a lot. Okay.
well, when I was a toddler, of course, I didn't really say much. But then as I got older, and so my dad were doing things that he probably shouldn't have been doing. And so I began to tell my mom. And so that kind of ended our hanging out when I was young relationship. But I just wanted to show this picture of my dad, because at that moment I began to think of my dad, how stylish he was, how he instilled in me, the pride. I love to dress. I love hats. So I look at that and I see that I am a reflection of my dad in so many ways. I'm like, he was very popular. He had a lot of friends. And so that moment made me understand the importance of my dad in my life, and how he has shaped my life. So I want to end this session. I found this article online. It is called 10 Reasons a Daughter Needs a Dad. 10 reasons a daughter needs a dad. So I want to leave you with these 10 reasons. A daughter needs a dad to be the standard against which she will judge all men. Right. Because, the first relationship that I had with the man was my dad. And so if I'm single right now, but I don't want anyone that's going to treat me less than my dad did. I don't want anybody that's going to love me any less than that. So my dad is the standard when it comes to love, or what I want in a relationship. Because one thing, no matter, my dad had his flaws and his faults, but one thing he did, he loved me unconditionally. Unconditionally. And I share a name with our sunshine expert. The last conversation I had with my dad before he passed in 2009, the last in-person conversation, he gave me the nickname Sunshine, because he said, you spread sunshine to everyone you meet. And that stuck with me. That was very important to me, that my dad called me sunshine.
Wow.
Number 2, a daughter needs a dad to protect her. Yes. And I always felt safe when he was carrying me around on his shoulder or whatever. I felt like my dad, he could protect me from any and everything. And I knew he would. If anybody messed with his daughter, people would tell you, if you go to my hometown, Sugar Land, Texas, if you go there, they'll tell you, ain't nobody mess with Russell's daughter. Right. Because he has set that in stone, that if you ever mess with my daughter, you're going to have to deal with me, you know? So my dad, yes, he protected me. So a daughter needs a dad to protect her.
Okay, I got to retype that, but go ahead. Take that. To protect her. These are awesome points.
Right. A daughter needs a dad to influence her, even if he's not around. And that's the part that I like. Even though my dad has transitioned, his legacy and the characteristics he has set in me, they still live in me, through me. And like every day, sometimes I had to catch myself, because I say, oh my God, I'm acting just like my dad. Or I'll catch a glimpse of myself in the mirror and I was like, oh my God, I look just like my dad with that hat on, you know? So his influence still lives in me. All right. Next point. A daughter needs a dad to show her how to live. And, and like I said, I don't emulate him, everything that he did. He had his flaws, and so do I. But the thing that he taught me is that family is so important. And that legacy lives within me. He has shown me that how to live, no matter what, Vicki, put your family first. Of course, God is first, but next to that, your family is more important than anything. And so I live by that mantra that my dad taught me. Number 5, a daughter needs a dad to believe in her. And let me tell you something. Nobody believed in me like my dad. He was my first fan, and when he called me, he would tell me that, I love you. I am an only child by my mother's side. My dad has other children, but he would always make me feel like I was number one in his life. So that's a great point. Number 6, a daughter needs a dad to fight for her. And I've already told you that. I always felt like if anybody messed with me, they was going to have to answer to my dad. And that's how I feel, even our relationship with God. God is not going to let no one, absolutely no one, mess with us. He's going to fight for us. He's always going to stand up for us. So I correlate this from a natural father to a spiritual father, because these are some great characteristics that our spiritual father, have as well. And number 7, a daughter needs a dad to sacrifice for her. And I always felt that way. My dad always provided, and he always put my needs sometimes before his own needs. And that is a wonderful thing to do. All right. I'm going to do these quickly. A daughter needs a dad to guide her, right? A daughter needs a dad to give her strength. Yes, I still feel that. I am strong because my dad was strong. I am strong because my mother was strong. Being here without any parents doesn't mean that I don't have a parent. And even with my relationship with God, I still feel, strong and alive, because even though I can't turn to my natural parents anymore, physically, I still have a father that I can turn to whenever, and it don't matter what time it is. I still have a heavenly father, a spiritual father, a father who is here, that I can touch. My Father, He is present. His presence is always known. My spiritual and my natural father, the presence is always here. And lastly, a daughter needs a dad to be her first love. And I can testify to that. That's the first man that I ever loved, ever. And I just thank God for the TD Jakes event, because it made me understand and recognize how important it is for a daughter to have a dad. And so, no matter who and what your situation is, just know that having a dad is important to you. Just having a dad. And I know some of you may have been raised by your mom and a single parent, but it took a dad seed to get you here. You didn't get here by yourself. So, there is an importance to that.
Wow.
So thank you so much for having me this Freestyle Friday. I'm glad to be back. Got my feet settled for just a minute, but thank you for having me.
Glad. This was incredible. So, I mean, okay. Yeah, this was such great information that Vicki shared. 10 different tips as to why we need our dads. A daughter needs her dad, and a daughter needs her dad to be her first love. All of the 10 tips are there throughout the comments. And I want you all to say as well, everybody that's on, just take 1 second and say something about maybe your dad, or just something as to how important your dad is in your life. And let me go with you, Carrie Ann, first, because I have your picture of you and your dad right here.
Well, that's my father. He just became apostle this year, and that was us presenting the apostle award certificate to him. So kudos to my dad. My dad has been there with me my whole life. When I was having my daughter, he was in the room helping me to push. And he tells this story all the time. He saw a U-turn sign. And when he was praying for her, because my daughter was born as a preemie, but my father has been there for his 4 kids, 8 grandchildren, and 2 great-grands. So I just love my dad. I'm so glad that I get to do all kinds of things with him whenever God allows me to do. So thank you.
Awesome.
Beautiful.
Okay, Athena.
Beautiful.
Athena.
Yeah, my dad, he's the light of my world. I mean, he's my first love. I mean, oh man, he taught me how to skate, how to ride a bike, all those great things that, a daughter desires her dad to do, the first dance. Me and my dad have music. Music is one of our big things in common. We love music. And so this past year, I'm just grateful to God. We went to a Bon Jovi concert in April. Me and my dad at the rock concert, jamming out. And again, I feel like how my sisters on the panel feel, it's a blessing to have my dad and to do things with him and to have those memories at heart. Just to have those moments, when you have a moment to think about your father, it's a blessing to think about all the memories I have and just to smile, to know that God continues to allow him to be on this side of the land of the living, as well as I have my spiritual father.
Awesome. All right. Talk to us, Jody Bear.
My father passed away in 1957. This picture is the last picture I have of my dad 6 weeks before he passed away. I was only 3. And why this is so amazing to me, Kim, panel, especially Vicki, I didn't know, because I'm camping at my spiritual retreat. And for some reason, I was going ahead and doing some copying at Staples. And I made a copy of this one picture. I was doing something for my husband and my grandson, and it was stuck in the middle of this. See, our creator of all knew that we were going to be doing this. And he was an educator. He was a superintendent at schools. And the one thing I want to tell you, it's not the length of life, but sometimes it's the life and the years. And at 42 years of age, they shut down the entire little town of Laurel, Montana, because they honored him, and the school was filled, the churches were filled, and everybody honored my dad for who he was and what he meant as a World War II veteran, and then in his life. And you know what that's like, Kim, for real, for real.
Absolutely.
So this just blessed me abundantly, exceedingly in my spiritual retreat this week, above all you'd ever ask or think. Thank you, Vicki, for bringing this to us.
I'm so glad that you brought this topic up, Vicki. Okay, how can people stay connected with you, Vicki?
My website is VickiLEvans.com. My Gmail account is VickiLEvans@gmail.com. My phone number is listed there, and I am on social media. I am on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. Just search for me. Just look for me. I'm out there. And so I'm a big presence on social media. I have been in the airport and people say, "Hey, Vicki." And I'm like, "Who is that?" And they know me from social media. So I just encourage you just to join my Facebook page, Vicki Linnell Evans, as well. And I just love to hear from you, whatever in whatever format that is. I would just love to hear from you. Give you a virtual hug.
All right. There you have it. So we are not going to take another commercial break. We're going to go straight to our own Dr. Jody Bear, our America's top foundational health coach expert here on the Kim Jacobs Show. So we're going to pop you up, Dr. Jody, and tell us what you have for us today.
My goodness, I was thinking of the D's. If it's Dr. Joe D, capital D, look at what we've done as we summarize today. We've had do the know. We've had delight in our creator of all. We've got the dad and daughter thing. Now we're going to talk about donating and making a difference. I'm Dr. Jody Bear, as I said earlier on, America's top foundational health coach. I'm going to talk about the social pillar. I talk about six pillars, the social pillar, and how you can make a difference today, because it's foundations of health, living, and hope. And we're going to give some people hope. Many of you know that I am down in Florida. I live in Florida, and we're going to be doing a 24-hour Hurricane Ian. It's just been a beast down here. Ian relief. Hurricane Ian was one of the most powerful storms to ever hit the U.S. It made landfall. Y'all, it was 150 plus mile-an-hour winds. It hit a Cat 5, September 23rd. People that aren't around in this area think, oh, well, it was a hurricane. Get up, go to work, whatever. Oh, no. It left power knocked out. It left destroyed homes. It left businesses and left death and destruction actually forever. And the following, these are the staggering statistics, ladies and gentlemen. 3 weeks after this national disaster of epic proportions, this is the first iteration, and it keeps getting larger every single time I look at the local news. Estimated $75 billion in destruction. 2 million Floridians were out of power. Still 1 million are displaced out of their homes, probably for years, up to 2 years. Naples and Fort Myers in Southwest Florida are off the grid. That means no internet, no power. 90% of those counties, Lee and Collier counties, were leveled. They were leveled to the ground.
Yeah, these are some examples. I mean, everything is literally one of the deadliest hurricanes ever, and it leveled and devastated a lot of the Florida area. So people are truly devastated from this particular Hurricane Ian. Okay, go ahead.
And Kim, I mean, if you're gainfully employed, guess what? Your company's gone. If you are having a business, it's gone. We are bringing together, I mean, soup kitchens, you know, the whole deal. Ron DeSantis, the governor of Florida, said that the resiliency of these seniors is amazing, but there is just an amazing need to act now. And in the case of time, this is where in this social pillar, I always say, we put our heart here, we feel the beat, we put the other hand over there, and guess what? You go ahead and the heart beats stronger. Because some of these senior citizens, the clock is running out. Majority of people, including myself at 68 and a half years old, are senior citizens in the state of Florida. I've been here for 20 years. I lost everything in Hurricane Charlie. I know what it is like. So I just decided to do something. And I'm asking you, the Kim Jacobs audience to join me. Let's make a difference. That's another D. You can donate and make a difference. Kim's putting a site up there. It's a PayPal site. I will tell you that 100% of the proceeds, this is my non-for-profit. Okay, the 100% of the proceeds are going to go personally to people that I know that have lost everything.
Let's take a moment to say that so everybody understands. PayPal.me, because I have some audio podcast listeners as well, as PayPal.me/RHB as in boy enterprises. PayPal.me/RHB enterprises. 100% of whatever is donated there, according to Dr. Jody Bear, will be given towards Hurricane Ian relief efforts, okay? And cleanup efforts. Go.
Absolutely. So Hurricane Ian, what are we going to do? We are going to take this money. We are going to show, just like on my TV show, we are doing a video crew. We're going to be handing them checks like Publishers Clearinghouse, because that will go directly. There's another D, directly to those in need. I can tell you, I just, for the sake of time, I want to tell one quick story. I have a colleague that actually was very self-made, great businesswoman, immigrated from the UK, had one of those homes that you see with the tile roof, supposed to be hurricane proof, had included her portfolio for 3 more homes and brought her 80-year-old mother from the UK over to Florida. I talked to her and she said, in one day, I went from 5 homes to 0 homes. That's just an excitement. So we're going to hear from people. We're going to hear from Governor DeSantis. We're going to hear from you, Kim. I'm so delighted that you're going to be our keynote speaker. So if you would like to speak, and we're going to be doing this because it is a fluid situation, one day on the 22nd of October. But what's coming up in November, gang? It's the month of gratitude. So we are going to do, again, we'll be doing this telethon, a 12-hour telethon, to increase awareness, because they won't have anything but a soup kitchen. You just don't have a tent. Right now, I'm on my spiritual retreat outside of Tampa, north of Tampa. And there are FEMA trailers every single place. And those are the lucky ones. So I always say about something like this, if not you, who? If not this, what? And if not now, when? So please donate, be a speaker. If you have something on your heart, what are we going to be speaking on? I'm a motivational speaker. It will be on this day from noon to midnight, stories of inspiration, motivation, hope, tenacity, resilience, and perseverance in the side of your own storm. Because in the social pillar, ladies and gentlemen, stress is the #1 killer. It's stress. And when we can take some of that stress off, then we will know the rest. So I just encourage you to be a part, encourage you to make a difference. Our goal is $1 million. It's like, Jody, yes. Look at it. It's 100,000 people giving $10. Brown bag it. Brown bag it for one lunch. Brown bag it for a couple of lunches, because when we do this together, we can make a difference. We're looking for sponsors, as we all do, businesses that want to come in. You'll have your commercial played over and through that. And also for the next month on my show on Traverse TV. And actually, humanitarian efforts means we are human. So join the efforts. I tell you, in this time, and this is what I want to leave with you. It's in this time of turmoil and uncertainty in the world, and actual instability. We see it all over the place. It's more important now than ever that real people, and we are real people, as the Balanced Doctor has created these real speakers in this Freestyle Friday, as we band together in one accord and one cause. This cause is now. The time is here. And we can also say, I did, and I can, and I will make a difference. There's another D. And this is Dr. Jody Bear. I don't usually put my personal cell phone. I did this time. 678-522-3757. You can reach me. Email me at drjody.com is my website. You will find me there. But go ahead, click the link for Hurricane Ian. Oh, this is what we can do. take the QR code. It's right there. That's the
Yes.
QR code. Let's
Where's the QR code? Anywhere else on social media?
in my background. Just
Okay.
take a
Here, let
screenshot
me
of it.
pop you up bigger so that people can get that QR code. Hold on.
Let's get that QR code and
We'll
pop it
scan
up.
that QR code, everybody, and that'll take you right to the Hurricane Relief Fund Telethon. $1 million is what the goal is. You can contact Dr. Jody Bear at 678-522-3757. Scan that QR code right behind her. And if you want to speak at this upcoming event, all you have to do is go here to the hurricaneian.world/Ian Relief Speakers, okay? And that's going to take place for 12 hours beginning at noon p.m. Eastern Standard Time, October 22nd. All right. Wow. Thank you, Dr. Jody Bear.
And thank you, Kim. I'm so grateful for you in my life, being such a supporter and being in this sphere in my life to create this platform so we can serve each and every one of the people. Because when we do, using the D word, the greatest salesmen are the greatest servants. And you ladies and my fellow panel members are true servants. Back to you, Kim.
All right. Listen, I want to make sure you all know if you want to go ahead and donate, but you're not going to be able to be one of the speakers, or you won't be able to be in attendance on that day, to go to I want to pop that up one more time. You can go to paypal.me/RHB Enterprises. If you know that you're going to donate, go ahead and put, hey, I donated. I already donated. I donated. I'm donating. Put something in the comments section. Dr. Jody Bear will go back and she'll be able to connect with you. If you know you're going to be speaking, I'm speaking. I'm actually speaking as well. And I'll be donating. I already donated, but I'm going to donate, I'm sure, more. But I've already donated and I'm going to be donating more. All right. So please make sure you all help these people in Florida. This is right here in the United States, y'all. They need our help. They need our prayers. They need us to delight in the Lord on their behalf. They need us to say no to some other things and yes to hurricane relief. There are a lot of daddies and daughters that are displaced right now. Since we're talking about what we talked about today on Freestyle Friday, those daddies and daughters do not need to be separated because they don't have people that are pouring into their situation. Okay? All right. I hope that today's episode has been nothing short of a blessing to you. I did not pop my father's up because I wanted to wait until the very end after giving everybody a free chance to say everything. But this is my biological dad, and I love him with everything within me. I adore this man and couldn't be more grateful that God would allow me to be there holding his hand when he took his last breath on this earth. And the final words he said to me, because I grew up from a divorce situation, was, Kim, you'll always be my daughter. Those were my dad's final words to me. And God would allow me to be there from a divorced family situation when he took his last words. To me, that's a delight back to me from God. And I do have to say, this man right here, he walked me down the aisle at my wedding. And that's my uncle, my mom's brother. So I'm so honored that he's been a father figure to me my whole life. And I have to also say that my mom was with my brother's father, Royal, you all may know about my brother, Ron. That's his father. He was my father figure for like 10 years of my life, and a great father figure as well. I don't take any of these men for granted. We're getting ready to close out in less than 2 minutes, but I wanted to just make sure that I pop up some of the men that have really helped shape and mold me into who I am today. And we can easily just say, okay, well, that wasn't my biological dad, so I'm not going to honor him, but they still played such an important part in my life, in my upbringing, in my growth, in my development. And so I'm just giving 2 more people, my stepdad, and Mr. Claude Spratley, I love dearly, and he has always been a supporter of me. And he's like, Kim, you're just so nice. I love being your stepdad. And he has just been very supportive of my life. And then Les Brown has been a spiritual father figure to me, since I was in my early 20s, and he's taken me under his wings and did a lot of wonderful things on this journey called life. And so I really honor and salute you too, Les Brown. All right, those are all my daddy figures. That's a lot of daddy figures, and they weren't all with my mom or anything, but I just wanted to honor them and say thank you for being great men in my life. Go ahead.
Kim, I just wanted to give this one announcement because I don't usually pat myself on the back very often.
Come on now, pat yourself right quick. What does it take for us to stay for an extra 2 to 3 minutes on a panel discussion? Go.
But just in case I'm not on next week, I am nominated for Theater Person of the Year.
Oh, you have to send us stuff about Vicki L. Evans, y'all. Her performances are incredible. They are like literally jarring and riveting, and you're crying, you're laughing. It's so many emotions that come out of her performances. Go ahead. Wow.
So, there's going to be, I think the gala is on October the 23rd. And so I'm just happy to be nominated no matter who wins.
Well, we vote for you. Do we get to vote?
I don't think so. I think it's a committee that votes.
It's rigged.
There's, a nice gala. I'm going to be there, so I just wanted to say thank you, Metrolina Theater Association and the Charlotte
Metrolina Theater Association. Even though we don't get to vote, we support, if you want to know, we support Vicki L. Evans as Theater Person of the Year. Woo-hoo!
Thank you.
We'll do our own celebration, right? So bring your award and show it. We'll do a whole, hey. Okay, and at least show us your outfits, walking the red carpet, all that good stuff. Any closing comment from each of you? Athena, say your closing comment, and then Carrie Ann and Jody Bear, and we're going to click off today's episode. Go ahead, close us out.
Enjoy the rest of this beautiful day. Have a safe weekend. And remember, if your plate is already full, just say no and be at peace with it.
Carrie Ann.
Delight yourself in the Lord and move with God.
Dr. Jody Bear.
Just donate. Do the donation, because when you give that digital currency, you will get a blessing back tenfold. Thank you in advance.
All right, everybody. That's our episode. Y'all make sure you go back and check out all the comments. It's been quite a few of them. Thank you all for tuning in, and have a great rest of your day and a wonderful weekend. Today is National I Love You Day. Bye-bye. Hello, everyone. I'm Kim Jacobs, host of The Kim Jacobs Show, where we're bringing balance to the world one household at a time. Listen, we go live every weekday, Monday through Friday at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I bring guests on that talk about their backstories, things that they've had to overcome to become who they are today. Many of them are balancing and juggling life, and they've become experts in different fields. So they're sharing tips with you to make your life just a little bit easier. Many times as a guest in the studio audience, you'll get a chance to walk away with a missing piece of the puzzle that might be missing in your life. Let's go on this journey together, and I look forward to seeing you Monday through Friday at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on The Kim Jacobs Show.